Hello, my name's Rob and welcome to SwiftSlots. Now I'm fresh back from the 2025 UK Slotfest held in the Gaydon Motor Museum, and I must say right at the top of this video, thank you to everybody that came up and had a chat with me. It's amazing to meet you and the conversations I had were fantastic. It's really nice to get that feedback, and you telling me you're liking the channel and you're liking the projects was really good to hear. So I'm really humbled by that, so thank you very, very much. And also a thank you and a sorry to the lady that asked me for my autograph. I've never been asked for my autograph before, and it was on the hop. I don't mind doing it, but it's caught me on the hop a little bit, and my handwriting is dreadful. It is absolutely dreadful at the best of times. So trying to find somewhere to write my signature, autograph, and also the show and everything else, it's you got a genuine piece of my disastrous handwriting. At least you didn't get something that's all contrived, all slowly and all the rest of it. You just got a genuine piece of my awful handwriting. So thank you for the signature. Sorry it's so bad. And also, well done to your lad for the cars that he bought. You got some really nice cars there. I was very impressed by them. So remember, when your father sends me an email asking me for the cars and bits and bobs we chatted about, remember to tell him to remind me to put some little bits of extra in there for those cars in case one day you want to tune them up. So I also met a few other guys there that gave me some extra parts. Now one of those people was a guy called Steve. Now Steve remembers my Skeletti video, and he said, I've got a polystyrene crate that I found. It's in really nice condition and it's for the Skeletti box set, and he brought it with him at the show and he gave it to me. So thank you very, very much, Steve, for this. Now unfortunately it doesn't fit. It's about 3/4 of an inch too big in all directions. So maybe it wasn't for the Skelettis, maybe it was for a basic oval for the minis. I'm not entirely sure, but sadly the crate doesn't fit. So what I want to do on this video now is, if anybody recognizes what this crate is from, maybe it's a newer Skeletti box where the box was a little bit bigger, or maybe it's from the minis or whatever. If you're a genuine Skeletrix collector and you want to put this box in your box, I'm happily send it to anybody that needs it and genuinely wants to use it. I don't want it to send it to somebody who's going to cut it up and waste it, because this box is probably the best part of 45 to 50 years old, and look how well it's survived. We've even got the proper internal crate. It's absolutely in fantastic condition. So I'm not interested in giving it to someone who's going to wreck it. I'm very interested in giving it to a Skeletrix collector that can put it in their collection and make good use of it. So really appreciative to you, Steve, for giving it to me. Sadly it doesn't fit, but I am willing to hand it on to somebody who can use it. So thank you very much for that. Also, I'll dump that down there a minute. Also, I met Martin, who gave me a job lot of minis and the rotating minis and stock cars, and you'll remember from a couple of videos back. So he also gave me another box of cars. They are all in here. So obviously I want to show you these cars as well, but I show you this box as well because it's easier to show you in this format now, and we'll get you on the table in a minute. We'll show you those as well. So I gave Darren and also Martin a little gift as well for the cars that they give me for the channel. So they're all squared up. Now we've got another box of cars, and some of these cars are awesome and they will find themselves in a project later on. Anyway, so that's those as well. So I want to get you on my table and show you all the awesome cars that I bought at Slotfest. Now I was a really good boy this year. I didn't spend too much money. I only spent about £120 in total for everything that I'm going to show you, and I didn't buy anything new in a box. Well, I kind of did. I bought one from Phil Smith. It isn't new, but it is in a box, and I paid a little bit of money for it. Not too bad. But so just this video just goes to prove that you can pick up some really nice cars for not a lot of money. So you just got to go to the shows, or you can wait on eBay, but go to the shows. Is really worthwhile because you find all those nice cars and you can study the condition, which is something you can't really do on eBay. And I've been caught by that a couple of times with sort of favourable photographing on eBay, you know. But going to a show, and especially the UK Slotfest, you really find some awesome bargains there. So with that said, let's get you on my table and show you those awesome bargains. Okay, so let's start with the box of fixer-upper cars that Martin generously gave to me. Now there's actually 2 layers of cars in here, so let's pop this box to one side and we'll start with the first car. And that car, I think, is going to be this Audi. This is an awesome looking Audi. Now, I had thought about making one of these cars on the channel, making it go really fast. So this Audi is a really, really good start in that thought process. Now, as you can see, it doesn't have a motor and other bits and bobs, but that doesn't matter because in true SwiftSlots style, we don't need much of that anyway where we're going. But the chassis itself is perfectly nice and perfectly usable. And so is the body. Now, this body is actually pretty well complete. All it really needs is its rear view mirrors, and I'll come back to that point in a minute. So this would make a really, really nice car for a really fast track car. So something along the lines of the Sierra I've just done, or something like that. So that is a really nice car. So next up, we have this Valvoline high impact body with nothing else, just the body shell. Not quite sure what I'm going to use this for, if I can use it, but it's a nice clean body. So that's that. It's very nice to have, and you never know, there might be something useful I can do with it. And next up we have this Mondeo. Now this Mondeo is struggling a little bit because it's been sun faded quite badly, but all the glass is still there, and with a nice repaint this could be a really nice car. Again, it just needs rear view mirrors and it's pretty much complete. And the chassis is exactly the way that I like them. Nothing on it whatsoever, and that gives me a really nice basis to put all brand new gear in there so I can turn this car into a bit of a track monster as well. So this is a bit of a deep project, but you never know, one day I might get around to doing it with a nice repaint as well. And next up is this Vauxhall. Now this is my wife's favourite car out of all this collection. She went through it and said, oh, I like the Vauxhall the most. So there we are. Again, a little bit sun faded, but ideal for a repaint. And in terms of what we've got in the chassis, not a great deal, but enough. So a nice new motor and some running gear, and this car would also be a really good running car. So again, a really good project for some sort of track monster going forwards. Who knows where it'll take us. Now you wait for a bus and two come along at the same time, as the famous saying goes. Now I was looking for one of these cars at Gaydon, and I did eventually find one, and then I found another one. And then Martin turned up with his box of cars and I ended up with another one. And there was a point at the show I didn't actually think I was going to get one at all. So like I say, you wait for a bus and two, maybe even three turn up at the same time. Now this is a really nice car, and you'll see that I actually bought one of these as well before I was given this one. So this car is definitely going to end up on the channel. Maybe this particular one will be resprayed into like a road livery, and the one that I bought might be left exactly as it is with a racing livery, because that's the way they seem to have organised themselves, condition body wise. And again, we've got a nice chassis there. Yeah, the front tyre split, but that's going anyway. Missing a wheel, but who cares? Maybe a nice set of Staff's wheels on this will do the job. Nice room for a new motor, 25k NSR I reckon. So there we are. So that's a very nice chassis and a really nice body, and I'm sure that we'll do something with this in the months or years to come. Now here we have a really nice car. This Alfa Romeo. I'm really quite taken by this car. This is a really nice car and will definitely end up being a SwiftSlots super tune, and we'll definitely see if this car can get around Crow Valley in a decent time. I really like this car. This is really, really cool. And the actual body is in really good condition. And with the solid wings, rear view mirrors as well, and the solid rear spoiler, nothing's going to break off. So this is going to be a fantastic car to really wring its neck and see if we can get a really good time. And as you can see, the chassis is much the same as all the other ones. It is fairly well empty. If I can just get that off. Can I get that off? Not really, and it doesn't matter. But we got rear axle, bearings, gear, obviously no motor and no guide. Slotting plus guide anyway, so who cares? But yeah, really good. I can see through in there. There's nothing but fluff. So really nice chassis, nothing broken. So this is going to be a really cool car. Now this was another car on my shopping list to buy, and I was actually looking at trying to find one of these at the show. I actually quite like this car. Okay, it's missing its rear spoiler and it's missing all of its running gear, but again, we're going to change that anyway. Again, chassis, really good condition. Body, all bar missing its spoiler, really good condition. I like having these cars in this state because they can only get better from here. And this is a great platform for me, because normally I would buy these chassis or these cars and strip out all that. But the guts of this car have already been used for a different project to salvage some other car. So this is exactly how I like to receive my cars, ready for upgrades. And this body is really nice. It's got a really nice stance to it, this Renault. Really like the Renaults. They're really nice cars. So I'm looking forward to doing this one. Again, not quite sure when, but when I do, it'll be a really nice one for me to do. And saving possibly my most favourite for last, got this awesome Ford Escort. I like these cars. They tune up really well and they look great going around the track. And this is a really nice one. I love a blue and white car, and this is about as blue and white as you can get. So really like this car, and again, exactly as I like to receive them. Nothing on the chassis whatsoever, completely ready for all the high-end upgraded parts to make this car go like a rocket. And as you already know, as you might know, I already do the Lexan glass and Lexan interior for this Escort Cosworth. So that's given me a really great start to turn this car into another track monster like I've already done with the cars before it. So you would have heard me talk about wing mirrors, and in the bottom of that box I also had this collection of small parts. Now I love small parts because you never know when they're going to come in useful. So we've got a light bar there. I don't quite know what it's from yet. I'm sure if I looked hard enough I would find out, but when I find out which car that goes in, that will be really useful because I'm starting to build my SwiftSlots projects with lights in. I'm actually quite liking lights. They only add about 1 or 2 grams to the whole project, and it brings an extra dimension to the car. So when I find out what car that goes in, that'll be really helpful. We've also got this extremely useful pile of rear spoilers. Now these will come in useful, and I dare say the cars they belong on are in that pile. If not, they will certainly be used for other cars going forwards without a doubt. And then last but absolutely not least, we've got a lovely pile of door mirrors. Now these are fantastic because I'm always having to buy door mirrors because I hate my cars without door mirrors. Now if I'm not greatly mistaken, these are the door mirrors from a Ferrari, a Skeletrix Ferrari, and I had to buy these recently for my Ferrari that I did about a year ago. So now I wouldn't have to buy one if I wanted to do another one. They got them there all ready to go. And we got a selection here of other ones. Now there was actually another sprue that came with this pack, and it was this sprue here with these wing mirrors here, these door mirrors here, and they were sprayed blue. Now you won't see that in this pile here because they've already been used on something that I already bought at the show, and I will get to that when I get to it. But that is really cool. So I've now got another set of mirrors for when I buy the same car, or maybe I can fit these onto something else. So these door mirrors are going to be absolutely fantastic for the Escort and the other cars that I was given in that pile. So these are absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much, Martin. Everything that you've given me in this box is extremely useful, and I absolutely will be using the vast majority of it over the time of this channel. So again, thank you very much. So here is the whole collection of 8 cars that Martin gave me, and thank you very much, Martin, indeed. So over the months and years we will see these cars at some point on the channel, and we'll turn them into track breathing monsters or complete repaints or something else interesting, who knows. But now I've got them, they can go in my store and I can use them for future videos. So again, thank you, Martin, much appreciated. Okay, so of the cars that I bought, let's start with this MRRC car. Let's call it a car for a moment. Now, I did actually buy this before the show on Phil Smith's website, but I asked him to take it to the show so that I could collect it. Now, this is a little bit, so I didn't really buy it on the day, but I did collect it on the day, and I do like it, so I'm going to include it in this video. Now, this is a car that I'm not going to do anything with. I really like it, and that may sound bizarre because I have dissed this particular car in future videos recently. Not this exact car, but this style of car, and you'll see why in a moment. But to be honest, I just loved it. Yeah, okay, so it may not be my favourite type of car, but I love this car, and I had to have it when I saw it on Phil's website. So it may seem a bit odd, but you can't rationalise irrationality, and that's where we are. So what car is it? So it is obviously an MRRC. It's not going to be the highest performing car in the world. Don't really care. Bought it for the looks, which again is a little bit strange for me to say if you remember some of my previous videos. But here we are. You can't rationalise anything with me. It is a Shelby Cobra 427. So it is the exact open top car that I have said I don't like open top cars, but I guess I probably like some of them, and this particular car is one that yeah, I do really like it. I had to buy it. It is absolutely beautiful, and it is in the dark blue with the white stripes, so you know it's kind of there. Now I have noticed since I bought this car that it's actually got quite a deep flat spot in the tyre because it's been in the box and screwed down for so long. So I don't know whether that really makes a difference to me. I doubt I'm going to run this car, to be honest. So I have actually relieved the screw in the box, so it's not actually sitting on the tyres anymore. Maybe that will lift out. Maybe if I oil the tyres, it'll all lift out. But I had to buy this car when I saw it on his website, because it is so pretty. And I know I've said I don't like convertible cars. Well, technically this isn't even convertible because there's no top on it, so it's not really a convertible, is it? It's a proper open top. But it is a really pretty car, and when I saw it on his website I had to buy it. It was £40, so it wasn't cheap, but it is immaculate. I know the flat spot in the tyre, that's kind of not immaculate, I suppose, but that's just a consequence of storage. It's not really, you know, it's not really anything. So, but it is such a pretty car. Look at the driver there. Look, he looks really smart. Just really like this car. It's such a pretty car. I kind of had to have it. I know it's a little bit contradictory, but yeah, well, look at it. I mean, you can't resist it, can you? Okay, so next up, Jaguar XJ220. This is a really nice looking car as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it's an old Skeletrix, doesn't matter. Now I do have one of these that came with my Ferrari, the blue one, and I did bring them up as a pair on the channel, and I said I was going to repaint it, and I still am. I've got the dark blue one. I tried to get some transfers off. I rubbed through the paint a little bit, so she's going to have a complete repaint. And I've got all the running gear to put back in it. Nice axle, nice motor, and spliff it all up a little bit. Not to make it go fast, but to make it go really nicely. So I do still have that project, and that is a project that I really want to do. It's just everything else just seems to take priority. But that car's been sat there in its box with a box of spares all ready to go, and the willingness to do it for so long, and then I go and find this one as well, and I had to buy this one. Now this one only cost me £15. It was up for 20. I said to the guy in the stand I don't want to pay 20, so he let me have it for 15 quid, and I think that's a fairly reasonable price. And note the wing mirrors, the door mirrors. Now they are the wing mirrors that I said came with Martin's box. So, and they are blue. They are pre-coloured blue. So Martin, unbeknownst to you, you've actually managed to get this car completely complete with the box of stuff that you gave me already. So they're already starting to pay off for me. So again, thanks for those. So there we are. So there is my Jaguar XJ220 in the white and blue. And I think this livery looks really nice. That's why I wanted to buy it. I'm not going to have a huge collection of these, but this is a really striking colour scheme. So I had to get it. 15 quid. Why wouldn't you? And if you recall, a few months ago, I showed you my collection of Jaguar XJ220s and my Skeletrix version. Now, I'm going to do something with that, probably in the next 2 videos, my XJ220, and I'm going to try and turn one of those XJ220s into a monster, and I'm going to do it as a 2-stage video with a paint job as well. It'll be one video, but it'll be a 2-stage video. Now that got me thinking about the Formula C cars. I love Formula C cars, and I love the Skeletrix ones, these old ones. They're really cool. So I've got a whole load of XJ220s now, and I wanted a Sauber and a Porsche to go with it. Now I couldn't find an immaculate Porsche at the show, one that I wanted to buy, but I have just found one on eBay the day I got back from the show, and I have bought it for a very fair price. So I'll show that on the video soon enough, on another video. But I did manage to get this particular Porsche from the show as well. So this one only cost me £12. £12 for this car, and I've run all these cars I'm showing you now, they all run perfectly. There's nothing wrong with any of them. In this one included, there are no split gears on any of these cars that I'm buying, and they're all absolutely good runners, and all the lights work on them as well for the most part. And this nice thing about this particular car is there's almost no scratches on the roof. There's a tiny one there, but nothing too much, and it comes with its rear view mirrors, which is really cool. And these are the colour that I like on this car, the bright yellow ones. I think they look really smart. And this is a really, really nice example of this Sauber for £12. And you can't really go wrong, especially if I upgrade it as well, which I may or may not do in a later video. But there we are. But that is my Sauber, so she'll be going into my private collection to look pretty alongside my XJR9s and also my Skeletrix Porsche, which is on its way. Okay, I accept the challenge. You heard it here. I accept the challenge. I bought myself a vintage Skeletrix motorbike and sidecar. Now, I know all about, even the price is still on there. £12 I paid for this car. Take that off because we don't need that. £12 I paid for this car, and they were plentiful at the show, and I thought, do you know what? Why not? There was two of these together. There was the white one and there was the green one. Now, I thought I wanted the green one, and that's the car, that's the bike that I was thinking of going for. But then when I went to this particular stand, I saw this white one, which I've never seen before. I've not looked that hard, but I've never seen the white one. Thought, no, actually, I prefer the Texaco one. It's a bit more striking. It's a bit more colourful and bright. I like the colour blue on the guy's helmet. I do love a blue and white vehicle. So this is blue and white. Texaco looks cool. So yes, I know these cars or these bikes handle like, well, rubbish. Let's just say they handle rubbish. And I'm looking forward to seeing what I can get out of this bike. So that'll be interesting. People tell me that they handle absolutely terribly, and I'm sure they do. But it'll be a bit fun to try alloy wheels, decent tyres, a bit of weight. I'm hopeful that I can get something out of this. Maybe if we lighten the body as well, take the old Dremel to it, because that plastic is all of that thickness. I can feel that. That's all of that thickness there. Now I reckon I can probably Dremel a lot of that out and get the weight right the way down and do something with the grip and everything else. But yes, I accept the challenge. Let's see how fast we can get this one round Crow Valley. Okay, so next, Datsun 240Z. Now I've got a few of these in my collection now, but I couldn't resist this one because it was £10. £10 for an immaculate Datsun 240. Now I have actually taken this off the chassis because I wanted to show you how clean this car was. So there we are. Absolutely as clean as a whistle, this car. Nothing broken, nothing really scratched, just a really clean car. And a really clean chassis as well. Now, I think someone's been in here before because there's brass bearings and some brass spacers in there, which I don't think would be standard from Skeletrix, but interesting nevertheless. It's a lovely clean chassis, lovely clean wheels, and for £10, who is going to argue with £10? And there we are, all put back together again. But that is a really nice car. Like I say, I've got a few of these now. Stuart's given me one, and my friend at the club has given me one, and I've acquired one from somewhere else. And now I've got another one, absolutely immaculate. Love these cars, really nice. And they're quite hard to find these days for a fair price with all their bumpers on and everything else. And this one is absolutely immaculate. So there we are, £10. Thank you for the guy pointing me in the direction of this car. Much appreciated. I wouldn't have found it on my own because I would have missed it at the show. But there we are. Lovely Datsun 240Z for a tenner. Can't go wrong. Now, this was the first purchase I made at the show, and this is very close to my heart. So obviously, this is a Pro Slot Ferrari. Absolutely love Pro Slot cars. They are my favourite brand. I love them. And these Ferraris in red are incredibly expensive to buy if you have to go on eBay or if you have to go anywhere on a website or whatnot. But around the show, you can find them if you're lucky and you look hard enough. And this was on a stand right at the beginning of the show in a row of other red Ferraris. And I thought, oh, I know what that is. And they are not cheap. And this one was cheap. This one was £25. So I grabbed it instantly. Didn't even need to think about it. So absolutely beautiful car. I've got one of these in black already. So now I've got one in the very, very hard to find and very expensive red. And I didn't have to pay a lot for it. Now, will it run nicely? I don't know. But I don't really care because it's a Pro Slot and I love the Pro Slot cars. So there we are. Very, very happy to find this car. Absolutely love it in its deep red. Really, really nice. No scratches, no marks, no nothing. Really, really nice car. So there we are. That's my Ferrari to add to my other Pro Slot collection. Now, I've been wanting a classic Skeletrix Porsche 911 for a very, very long time, but these are quite hard cars to find in immaculate condition for a cheap amount of money, because you wouldn't want to give a lot for these cars because they're not worth a lot. But people do seem to ask big money for these cars. I don't know why, because, well, they're nothing really very special. And this one isn't even lit, it's just a fixed light job. But it's absolutely immaculate, this car. This car is immaculate, and this absolutely called to me and said, yes, I am the car that you've been looking for a very long time. It's absolutely faultless. There is not one single mark on it that I can see, and this car's probably got to be 40 years old. It's a really, really clean example of a Porsche 911 in the most favourite livery, the Martini livery. No scratches on the roof, no scratches on the bonnet. Absolutely fantastic. And if I take the body off briefly here, you will see, look at that, absolutely immaculate on the inside, and the chassis is equally as immaculate on the inside there. Absolutely stunning condition car, this. No, it didn't have a box, but wait for it. What do you think I paid for this beautiful example of a Porsche 911? I paid exactly £10. That's right, £10, what, $12. And that was from Phil Smith. So Phil knows the prices of his cars, he prices them very, very well. He knows the condition as well as anybody else. So I didn't get this car from a seller that didn't know. I got it from Phil Smith, one of the biggest traders there. And he knows what these cars are worth, and he prices it £10, and I was willing to give him £10 for it. Love this car. Like I say, I've been looking forward to getting one of these for a very long time, and I finally found a really good example of it. I didn't pay a lot for it, so I'm very, very pleased with this. This is going straight into my private collection, and that will probably be the last anybody will ever see of it again. Maybe. She may come out for a track run. You never know. But beautiful, nevertheless. Okay, so this is the car, like I was talking about, a bus. You wait for 1 and 2 or maybe even 3 come along at the same time. This is exactly the same car as Martin gave me, but this is the one that I bought just moments prior to Martin giving me that box of cars. Now this is a car that I really want to upgrade, and I want to run it around Crow Valley and see if I can get a really good time out of it. Much the same as I did with the Sierra, but this will be the BMW. Really like these BMWs, they really look nice. I like BMWs as racing cars. They really do have a really nice aggressive stance to them, and hopefully I can get this one to go around the track really well. I'll make some lightened glass and a lightened interior like I always do, and then we'll see if we can hustle this one around the track in a future video. Oh, I forgot to tell you, what did I pay for this car? Well, I paid £10. Yep, another £10 car, cheap as chips. Now here is an interesting car. Now I bought this car because it ticks a few boxes. Now this is an XJR something. I really should have done my homework on this, shouldn't I? Is it an XJR 14 or something? I know the 13 was a really old vintage car. Is it a 12? I can't remember. I should have done my research, but I haven't. Sorry about that. But it's an XJR something or another, something in the teens. But what's special about this car is twofold. I've had a subscriber contact me very recently. He's got this type of car and he wants it to go a little bit better because he's bought one again from his childhood, but bought it now and it's not going as quickly as he remembers his ones that used to go. So he's asked me if I can help him out, and I have. And it's going to be a little video later on. I'm going to be upgrading it for him and seeing if I can get it to go a little bit better than it does now. But what is this? This is an old Skeletrix. This is one of the old Skeletrix with that really complicated chassis in it, with all the steering and all the rest of it. So that's why it's special. It's special because a subscriber has already asked me about this type of chassis. It's also special because it's one of Skeletrix's attempts at a performance car, and it's also an XJR type car that I can add to my XJR cars from the Skeletrix and my slotted ones as well. And this was on the stand for only £20. This is one of the more expensive cars that I bought, but I paid the £20 because it's so clean and so nice, and it's another XJR car to go with my collection, and it's the oddball car from Skeletrix. These are quite prevalent around the shows. I've noticed there's a lot of these cars for sale. They vary from sort of £10 to £25 or whatever, and they come in all sorts of conditions. But I bought this one because it has full-size front wheels, and some of them seem to have really small wheels. It's all working, it's all complete, and it's all absolutely immaculate. Again, this car came from Phil Smith. He knows the value of the cars. He asked £20. I gave him £20, and I'm very pleased to have given the money because it is really, really nice condition. Now, I don't think that these cars are massively high performance. I won't be looking to upgrade mine. Like I say, we'll be doing that in a video with my subscriber's car in a couple of weeks' time. But I just wanted one for myself. You know, with that email from the subscriber, and also with it being an XJR, you know, I thought, no, I like this car. Really, really like it. So I grabbed it while it was there, and I'm glad I did. It's even got its wing mirrors and everything. So really, really happy with this car. And there we are. Another Jaguar for my collection. Okay, I don't want to say too much about this Brabham, but I want to turn this car into an absolute weapon. So I had one of these back in the mid-90s when I had my other Scalextric set, and I recall it to be a really, really quick car. Now, obviously, back in the day, it probably wasn't quick. It was just quicker than anything else that I had. But I remember it well. It was the black one with the red wing. And I thought, do you know what? I get a lot of satisfaction out of turning these really old, rubbishy cars into really hardcore racing cars. And I think this one is going to turn into something really quite special. So as you can see, it's mostly complete, and it does run. It runs really well, and it's in really good condition. Now, on eBay, I've just ordered a new water slide set for this car. Now, I do believe that this car has already had that eBay's water slide transfers already applied to it, because it's all peeling away. There, look. So I think this car has already gone through this particular transformation. So I'm going to do it again. So all this lot's coming off. Brand new white paint job, brand new decals, 2K clear coat. Paint the back end up in silver, put a bit of highlighting on there, put a bit of wash in the radiator grills, make it look immaculate on the body. And also, I'm going to fit all that lot. Oh yes, you know, I've been shopping. I've got some massive Pendle slot rear tyres. I've got a long can motor. I've got a new rear wing, which will have to be painted. Got a nice 27 tooth gear, I believe it is. I've also got some 1mm offset bearings coming. So what we're going to, alloy wheels all round, and there's the front tyres there. So some Staff's offset bearings. So we're going to put this lot onto this car, and I'm going to try and get really close to the track record on Crow Valley, that being held by the Polycar P160 at about 46.1 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see how close I can get this old car around Crow Valley and try and beat. I don't think it's possible, but let's see if I can beat the track time set by the Polycar with this particular Brabham. Oops, almost forgot. What did I pay for this car? Only £5. And you could pick them up for that sort of money all day long. Okay, so here is a beautiful car. Now, I didn't buy this car. This car was actually given to me in lieu of work. So Rob Sale has got a Scalextric Mini, and it doesn't go very well. He's not very happy with it at all. Now, Rob said to me, I've got a job for you. Will you turn this Scalextric Mini into a track monster like I did with his Clubman? And I was like, I don't really want to. I don't really have the time. I've got other projects to do. I've got to do one of those myself. I've got my own Mini that I want to do exactly the same thing to. And then he said, well, let me sweeten the deal. And he gave me this. And I said, yeah, all right. Straight away. I absolutely love Porsche 917Ks, and I absolutely love the Golf livery. So when you wave this underneath my nose, I'm hardly going to say no, am I? So apparently this was one of the ones that was issued in Spain as a part works, where you buy the car in 3 pieces and you put it together. And it's really, really, really nice. So, you know, I can't say no, can I? How can you say no? It's absolutely immaculate. I put power to it. It runs beautifully and it looks awesome. So I didn't actually buy this car at the show. I was actually given it in lieu of work, but I got it here nevertheless. Now, you won't see me upgrading Rob's standard Mini that I've had to earn this car, but I will be doing my own Mini that's the slightly wider one in a future video. So you will get to see me transforming one of the newer Minis anyway, and I'm going to try and take away that ridiculously floppy front axle and do some other bits and bobs to my Mini, and that will be obviously replicated on Rob's Mini. So you'll undoubtedly see the Mini that I upgrade on Rob's channel, so keep an eye out for that. It's a little red Mini with a white roof, if I recall. So there we are. That's my beautiful Porsche 917K that Rob Sale gave me in lieu of some work. Okay, so the very last thing I bought at the Gaydon show this year was a Mini Clubman. Now, a lot of you really liked my Rob Sale video where I turned his Mini Clubman into something an awful lot better than it was as standard. Now, unfortunately, YouTube had something to say about that video and they ruined the audio in that video. So I said to you guys, I will remake that video all over again and I will make my own Mini Clubman all over again, but this time with a paint job and so on and so forth. Now, the only thing that I didn't have for that project was a nice chassis to fit a long can motor, one with the front bumper intact and so on, a little bit of chrome work left on there as well. And it's taken me a long time to find this chassis. I did put up a short, I didn't get much back from that. Now, I was given a collection of cars with a couple of Mini Clubmans in there, that is absolutely true, but the trouble is when you give me a car that's more or less complete, I do not want to pull it apart. What I end up doing is restoring it, and that's what I did with all the Clubmans in that box. They were all restorable, so they've all been restored. They've all had new tyres on them and they're all very viable cars at this point. So all of those cars went into my personal collection because I didn't want to pull any of them apart. They didn't need a lot of work to get them running again. So I was still short on a chassis and I couldn't get a chassis online. I couldn't find just a chassis on eBay on its own. I put out some feelers and so on and so forth, and that didn't come back with anything either. So by the time I'd got to about 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon at the Gaydon Slot Car Fest, I still didn't have a chassis in my hand. So what I did is I ran around to the stores that I knew had dirt cheap cars, and I grabbed the cheapest one I could find, and I paid £6 for the whole car that this chassis was on. The body was really rough, and it probably ran, I don't know. But the body was really rough, but the chassis is really, really good, as you can see, and the bumpers are all there. So I ended up paying £5 for the whole car, and then the body came off, and the body was donated to somebody else because they really wanted the body for a project of their own. And I was more than happy to give them the body, and all I wanted was this lovely chassis. So now we've actually got a chassis, and I can remake that Mini Clubman video all over again, this time using non-copyrighted music. And we can actually make a whole new video and you'll see me rebuilding up another Mini Clubman, my Clubman this time, with a paint job as well, and we'll see if we can get it to go just as well as Rob Sale's. So there we are. These are all the cars that I bought at the UK Slotfest in 2025, with the exception of this one here that I've got in lieu of work. Now, most of these cars are not going to be seen on the channel again, I don't suppose, unless I have a reason to, because most of them are going to go into my collection. I shall do them up, sympathetically restore them up, get some nice tyres on them and play with them for my own amusement or put them with my other collections. But some of them will be turned into projects, the BMW being one, the Brabham being another, this motorbike as well, that will also be turned into a project. And you might well see these cars here and there, you never know. But these are the cars that I bought, mainly for me, but some of them for projects as well on this channel. So there you are. These are all the cars that I acquired in this year's Gaydon Slot Car Festival 2025. These are the cars that I bought and these are the cars that I was given. Some of these cars would end up being projects, and a lot of these cars definitely will, because some of these cars I had on my radar anyway to do as projects in the future. And again, thank you very much to everybody that came up and had a chat with me. It's really nice to get that feedback. I really enjoyed the conversations, and thank you for your continued support. So if you've enjoyed this channel and you enjoy what I do, maybe if you haven't yet, maybe you would subscribe, and if you could hit the little bell button, that would be awesome. So until the next time, thank you very much.